Hi everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. I have a fun card for you today. It's taking a little bit of a deviation from Christmas, but all you have to do is switch the words on this card and I'll show you how, and you have a Christmas card. So it's a fun card. It also uses, I'm going to show you a couple of things for my card club. So this is, nope, I don't even have a light in here. Let me get one. Hi everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. This is actually take 3 because I keep forgetting to bring stuff over to the table. So I made sure this time, I hope, cross my fingers, that I have everything. So I have a fun card for you today. It is a New Year's card, but it could easily transfer to be a wedding card, a Christmas card, whatever you need it to be card, because it's just black and gold. But it makes a really spectacular New Year's card. So I'm going to use words of the season. Let's start with that. So it is in the holiday catalog. I don't have all the words for my seasons in here because they're being used. There's still holidays, Halloween, greetings, wishes. And you can see they fit with these. So it's a bundle that has words. I have Merry Christmas. I have Happy New Year. I think I have one more of them out somewhere. But then you can also put these on the inside. So for my card club girls, this is one of your add-on bundles this month. So if you add it on, we are using it in card club. You will get the die cuts from me. There's no special project for this one because it's just an extra add-on. But if you're in my online card club and you add on a bundle, you get almost 20% off of it because you just pay catalog price. So I wanted to do one more card so you could see that. This is actually a card that we are making in card club. So you can go watch this video and learn all about my online card club. But you can see here I did the Merry Christmas and it is in velvet. So it's super cool. I can't wait for everybody in card club to get it. So we're using, this is another add-on. I have a lot of add-ons because I wanted you to make sure you had words for your Christmas cards. But this has branching out, delicate pines, and then our paper this month is the elegant Pines Snowflake. It's a mouthful and I've had to say it a lot of times. When you choose it for card club, that's what happens. And then this may or may not have posted because I've recorded it and I don't know which order I will post these in. If it hasn't posted yet, it will post soon after this. So this uses branching out, the elegant pine snowflakes, and the Merry Christmas stamp, which is also an add-on this month. And then these both use branching out, which is an add-on. And then this uses all of the things, all of the aboves kind of on there. So you can go watch that one as well. But for the main part of today's card, I am using elements from the, I think it's called Modern Christmas Suite. It's an online exclusive. If you want to see the whole suite, you can go watch this video. I posted it a long time ago. This was the preview project for my Triad class. So you can go watch that and see all the bits and bobs, because I am going to use the Modern Ornamental Christmas bundle, but mainly for the dies. So we're using the dies and the paper, but that's not part of that. So I have a black card base. Let's fold this over. And then I have cut one of the pieces of designer series paper from that suite, and it is 4 by 5 1/4. Then the circle is part of the suite as well, and I am going to cut it out in a second with the die cut. And then I have some gold foil. This is like my scrap piece that I keep on the table, but it works perfect for this. So I'm going to use, what really makes this card spectacular is the foam adhesive sheets. So you can see they come in a little thing like this, and then as you cut them, you end up with different kind of sizes of what you need. So what I'm going to do first, here's my happy. Does it fit here? It does. You're going to make sure when you cut these that you don't have any sticky overhanging. And then we need a New Year. I still have a piece. It's just stuck on the outside from my mock-up card. Like this right here. So I keep this here because I use a lot of gold foil. You can make sure card's really elegant. So I just keep cutting down on a piece that stays on my desk. So we have that. Now we need to, that one's not quite long enough. Is this one long enough? It needs to be as long as my New Year. That one will work. So what you want to do then is pull off, it's double-sided foam adhesive sheets. So I'm going to pull off one side. It is very sticky. And you want to try not to touch your foam if you have sticky fingers. And then I am going to, see this piece here? When you get down to these little pieces, then what you have is a dimensional. So I save these. I stick it just back on that because you don't, if you extend this through with the sticky showing, when you go through your die cut, it's just going to stick to your plates. So now the next card I make and I need a dimensional, I'll just grab that. So now I have my New Year with gold foil and some adhesive foam. And then let's see. I guess I'll do it this way. And you need to make sure that it goes underneath all of it, because if part of your letter doesn't have foam, then it's just going to collapse on the card. And then I just take these little pieces and I stick them back in my bag, kind of like my gold foil. And I just use them. Once they get too small, then I just take them out and I use them for dimensionals. But there's lots of small things, like there's a star die in this bundle that I'm using now that you could easily use on one of the small ones. So put this on here, make sure everything has it. And then trim this off. Again, making sure these are kind of too little for dimensionals. Not really, but when you're trying to get something filmed. It's almost the end of my day. And I had one more card that's in my head, but I haven't made it yet. And then where I've touched it has some fingerprints, so just wipe those off. Okay, so I'm going to run this through and this through. I'm going to go back and forth on these because it has to cut through several layers. The circle just needs one, so let me cut these out. Okay, so I run them through. You can see a little bit of the stuff will smudge out, so sometimes they kind of stick. You just pull them off. But you want to be careful that you're pulling off the paper and not the adhesive back. So those are ready when we're ready to stick them on, but that'll be a second. But we needed our circle, so you might as well do it all at once. Now for this card, I want it to look like a New Year's celebration. So I'm going to be using my shimmer solution. This is, I have a whole video on how to make it, and I have lots of videos where I've used it. If you're in Card Club, and you should have gotten an email, or you will be getting it depending on when this posts, you get my emails up. If you need another bottle, I've sent them a couple of times. The first time I did this was over a year ago. Maybe a year and a half ago. And everybody got one. Sorry, trying to get that down there. I had it turned the wrong way. So it's a full wink of Stella and some glycerin. And then if you need a bottle, you're in a Card Club, let me know. And then I just squeeze some, if I can open it, onto this block. You can just wipe the block off when you're done. I'm going to get this on here. I'm going to go just around the edges because the rest of it's not going to be seen. But look how pretty that looks. I would do a whole bunch, except it has to dry before the sticky really sticks to it. But it really sets this black cardstock off. And it does look a little bit, well, it's wet because the glycerin makes the cardstock wet. As it dries, all you're left with is the shimmer and not that where it's making it a little bit darker. And then I'm going to grab this one. Isn't that fantabulous? It's glitter without being glitter. And it makes your wink of Stella, when you want to do whole backgrounds, it lasts a whole lot longer. On this, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I think when you leave a little bit matte, then you can really see the sparkle. So that's all we need for this. But I did use it on that original Card Club card that I showed you. That's why you'll need a bottle and you'll need a wink of Stella if you are in Card Club and you don't have one yet. Now I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to take the twine that is, just got a dimensional back on that as I was scooting it across the table. This twine is part of this suite. It's black and golden. It also comes white and gold, which was on the other card that I just showed you. So if you watch both of them, you'll get to see it. I'm going to go around 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, maybe I am, unless I run out. No, it just came off the thing. And 4. And then I'm going to hold those there and grab this and trim this. About right there. When it gets to the end, sometimes they get super curly. I'm going to go ahead and take a piece of, I'm going to use Seal Plus on this just because I have that glycerin on the card. If you're doing it at home, just wait for it to dry. You won't need that. But this will help it stick to the back. So I'm going to kind of spread these out. And then pull them. You want them tight, but not so tight that it bends your card. And then I have to also make sure I don't touch my table since I put that back there. But this will hold it in place while I mess with it. I'm just going to tie a knot. Maybe I'm going to tie a knot if I know how to tie. There we go. And so you can see it's kind of curling, but because I did it loose, that was just curling at the end. So I'm going to push this a little bit higher to the top than I did on my other card. After I was done, I was like, it could have been squished up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put this on here so nothing falls off. Oops. I do want to use Seal Plus. Because it's going to, I know it's going to touch some of that glycerin, and it's going to be like, no thank you. The first card I did, I got, it's just, it makes you happy when you put the glycerin on there. Look how sparkly that is. Hopefully you can see it on camera. If you can't see it on camera, you need to do it in real life so you can see it. See that sparkle? Then I'm going to take one of our hoops. These are called large gold hoops, and they are part of this same suite. I'm going to take one of those. And then to adhere them, I found the best way is to take your glue dots. And this is different than how I did it in Try It class. So if you did that, you might want to watch this, because the other, when I did it in Try It, I took them off and put them on. I found it's easier if you just kind of put this on here. I hope you can see it. I have white ink all over my hand. And just kind of pull it. And as it pulls, it really just stays on the back of it. So you need 3. You could put 4 if you want. 3 holds it just fine. Also gives you some place to hold it where there is no glue. So see, just put it on here and kind of shove it. And as it pulls off, then it just goes right behind there. Because they're big, these tiny little glue dots are bigger than the gold tube. So get one over here. Put that on. And then you've got an easy way to stick it. You could probably use glue too. It's just going to ooze out a little bit. So this is where I don't have one. So it gives me some place to hold it. I'm going to lift up on this. Shove that under. Yeah, this will look better than my other one. My other one's a little bit too low. I mean, it doesn't matter. I would tell all of you it doesn't matter. It just wasn't quite where I wanted it when the card was done. I'm going to trim these a little bit. And then again, I'm going to use Seal Plus just in case I've touched anything with the glycerin, because it's like anti-glue. Put this here, make sure your stars are straight. And now we need to put on our word. This time I'm going to start with my New Year. Last time I started with the happy, and I kind of ran out of room. So the first thing you want to do, you want to be careful when you do this particular die if you're using words, because it's a little bit like the operation game. See, that's stuck in there because it touched the stuff. So just be gentle as you pull it out, and then you're going to be gentle when you pop these out as well. And I would recommend leaving this back on. It's a little bit easier to pop them out without the back on, but trust me, your hands will stick to everything if you take them out. So you just want to gently work it out. And these little curly cues can be a little bit dainty, so I'm just going to kind of break those through. If you take the back off, it's one less layer for these to poke through, so it does help. But then I had a hard time. I tried it both ways. The letters stuck to my finger, and when I went to put them on the card, they just kept sticking to my finger because there was no place left to hold. See, right now I can hold it. The words themselves, super easy. It's just these capitals because they have the squirrely. And in this particular bundle, the capitals are not attached. to the rest of the words. So you can place them however you want. Okay, now we're getting this one. Okay, you see when you get it, it's now stuck to my finger, but this one little part right here, so just be careful. And if you need to, you can always do one letter. But now my backing's off, so it's ready to stick. And I've got the N, not the H. Put it all the way over here on the edge, so I don't run out. I didn't run out on my other one, it's just very close. So there we have our N. Now these will come out much easier. And you can do it frontwards or backwards. It is a little bit of a help if you get the centers of the letters out first. Because then you're not doing it when it doesn't have. That was what was stuck to my glue dots just a second ago. Once you get the feel for it, it's a lot easier. And I'm trying to do it so you can see it. See, that one came right out. And the backing came off with it. Yep, there it is. Actually, the tiny bit of glycerin on my fingers is helping these not stick as bad as they did last time. I'm pressing harder than you might otherwise have to because that's got that shimmer solution on it. Okay, let's get our Y. I will come back after the glycerin's dried all the way and push these down a little bit. So see this E and the A, we'll get those out while they're still in here. The little ones are so much easier than those capitals. And put my R all the way over to the side. That way it tells me how much room I have to get that in there. You can kind of squish them together, but that fits perfect now. Now let's get our happy. Pull this off. And I'm going to pop out all my middles, because there's a lot of them on happy. This time it stayed with the backing on it, so just pull that off. It's because it still has all of the little things I poked out. They were stuck to them. That, and then we just have to get our H. That on there. So it's pretty just like this, but we're going to add some embellishments. In this suite, this particular suite, the hoop counts as the embellishment. These are from the Traditions of Christmas. I had a free online class, so I think all of you that are my customers probably have them if you wanted them. But it was also, unbeknownst to me, a free class that Stampin' Up! Was going to do. And they have had a huge reception for that class. So because you need the pieces for it, they do expect that some of it will sell out. And I think that they said the paper, they're expecting, it won't sell out. It will just not be back until sometime in November. But I think that they said the sequins were as well. So I've got two large ones. Let's put one medium. And then one medium. And then let's do 3 smalls. I'm just using the gold. If you wanted to, you could use the red. It would be kind of pretty too, but, or the green. I was trying to keep it in the black and gold theme. And then we have the Happy New Year. There's a little bit of, look at that, a little bit of foam right there. Do some surgery and pull that right out. If you don't have the shepherd's hook, you need it because you can use this little girl for everything. So we have that. And then the bundle where I have the Happy New Year from also has an inside greeting for a New Year's card. So I'm going to do it in white. Because I don't put the stickers on, I always have to look and make sure that it's the right way. So my original intent was to emboss this in gold, which would be beautiful, but I had the white out from the previous project and it will emboss. So then after I did it, I was like, oh, well, that looks good too, and it still works, and it's one less step. So it says, let's toast to yesterday's achievements and tomorrow's bright future. My other one looks almost exactly the same, except for the fact, see, this is a little bit lower. I like it a little bit higher, but it doesn't matter. And this is coming off because I put lots of glycerin. Let's take a look at the glycerin real quick because the shimmer solution. See, on this one, it's started to dry, so you could see, although it's pretty dry on this one too now. Isn't that fabulous? That would make anybody's New Year just great. And you know, you've gotten all your Christmas cards and you feel like the cards are done. And it's so much fun to get a New Year's card because it's like, oh, my cards are not done. So here you go. But I also wanted to tell you, it could also be a beautiful Christmas card, right? If I was doing a Christmas card, I probably would have added the red and the green. And all you do is do the Merry Christmas. Where'd that card go? Are these out of the same set? Or you could do, I think it has Happy Wishes. You could do that for a wedding card. So there's other words that you could put on a black and gold card. I think it looks like a wedding card because I think I already told you that. My daughter and her son, my son-in-law's wedding was black and gold. This would have been perfect for them. A big congrats in the middle. It kind of went with their theme. So there you go. Check back later. I have a card that I'm working on with the new Nutcrackers. So cute. Have a great one. Bye.